let's see why Maomao works, except the fact that obviously she has the name of Cat Cat. Who doesn't like Cat Cat as the name? Also, the anime is amazing, and who doesn't love a good romance, right?
Western
slow
female
burning one.
protagonists are rated 30% lower than male leads. And if they want to fix this, they should take notes from Maomao. So what makes Maomao work while Western media keeps getting it wrong?
It's the crazy. It's the crazy.
Anime has never been afraid of female leads, and for the past year, Momo from the Apothecary Diaries has been one of anime's most fun, independent, and well-loved protagonists, with shockingly minimal fan service. But it's not just Momo, it's how she fits into her world, and that's what I
Oh no, she has a lot of fan service. It's just every time she's drawn as a cat, so who doesn't like that? That's the fan service that we get. Those little tidbits where she transforms into a cat.
call the Maomao effect. And to really understand why she works so well, let's break it down into 4 key points.
Personality
you know how some
and depth.
protagonists just feel different? Well, Momo is one of
Poor
them. She's a
Asta.
poison-loving, sharp-witted gremlin who got kidnapped and forced to work in Hell on Earth, a place called the Inner Court, where countless
I'd argue the hell on earth part, but sure.
emperors, concubines scheme, backstab, and do other mean girl things at each other. And somehow she's thriving.
It's like old age Gossip Girl. For those of you that haven't watched the anime but need a translation, it's kind of like you're going back in time and like I don't want to say medieval, but like I guess medieval is a good enough. You go back in time and you have Gossip Girls.
The Apothecary Diaries itself is a story of mysteries and unexpected twists in the Inner Court, and how Maomao, using her apothecary skills, sharp wit, and sometimes very questionable skills,
See? Cat.
using
look
her
at this.
apothecary skills, sharp wit, and sometimes very
There we go. See? Cat. Who doesn't like cat? This is the fan service. This is literally it. But anyway, for those of you that do not watch anime or have no idea what anime is that might be watching, think about telenovelas, soap operas, dramas, okay? Literally that. Just animated.
questionable skills, solve those cases that she just for some reason keeps getting swept into. And she does that for one noble purpose: to not get fired. If I had to describe Maomao, she's like a puzzle. The more you break her, the more sides of her you see. That sounds really wrong, but I'm gonna keep it that way. And no episode shows is better
That does sound really wrong. Oh.
than episode 4. So normally, Momo keeps a detached whatever face. She doesn't really want to stand out and usually plays ignorant. But in episode 4, she's ordered by the Emperor himself to nurse concubine Lihua back to health.
Okay. For anyone that hasn't watched the anime but wants to watch it, there might be spoilers, okay? Spoiler alert. I was gonna leave it there in case you want to mute for 15 minutes.
Lihua at that time had just lost her child and was on the brink of losing her will to live. Momo herself doesn't have a great impression on Lihua, but this is the Emperor's order. But just because it's the Emperor's order doesn't mean other people will make it easy. Especially those prideful attendants of Lihua. Momo practically faced bullying. But not for long, because soon enough, Momo realizes that Lihua's attendants are still using lad-based cosmetics on a currently bedridden Lihua, deadly and illegal.
Probably
And
one of my
Momo
favorite
snaps.
expressions of
Momo
Maomao.
drops all the nice act, the usual deadpan expression is gone, and straight up slap one of Lihua's attendant. Unfortunately, Lihua can still be saved, and then using everything at her disposal, Lihua gets back to health. But she doesn't stop there. Realizing that Lihua is actually kind and wise, she also helps her reclaim her place in the Emperor's eyes. And by that I mean she gives Lihua bedroom advice.
It doesn't stop there! She has the sex knowledge.
Education in the most practical way to the most suitable candidate. That's Momo for you. This episode perfectly sums up Maomao. She's not just skeptical and guarded all the time, she has heart, humor, and moments where she's outright terrifying. And that's one of the things that makes her really fun to watch. And now, let's look at the opposite side of the spectrum. And unfortunately, I have one name in mind. Galadriel. She's actually insane. No way she's mentally okay. Just look at this. And look smile. That's not normal. You see, from the first moment
I think I have that smile. Does that mean I'm not normal?
we see her, she's presented as ultra powerful, consumed by revenge, and somehow always right. And that's it. That's her personality in episode 1, and much later, it's still the same. Her hobby is being intense, self-serious, and being better than literally everyone, especially men. And I kid you not, it's always men. You know the Zlatan Ibrahimovic meme? That's
You know, keeping a straight face all the time takes some effort, man.
Galadriel. She is right, and if she is wrong, then the world is wrong. And apparently the world will stop spinning if that means making Galadriel right. And the worst part is this, even when there's an obvious opportunity to be interesting or nuanced, she just goes, nope, let me do this horse pose instead. Seriously, who thought that was a good
What was
idea?
that?
And you know when I said Galadriel always right? Yeah, let's talk about competence and realism.
Earned versus given. I like how chat is just like, I can fix her. Are you sure you want to fix her?
Talking about competence, we love the tension and release of earned success. But Maomao looks like she's smart and crafty right from episode 1, like she's an OP protagonist or something. So what makes it more acceptable? Maybe you'll get it if I give you a glimpse of Maomao's backstory and how it perfectly matches her competence, even to a more unique points. Maomao was raised by an
the
apothecary
cat.
named
I
Lumen,
can't.
her adoptive grandfather. Lumen is a brilliant mind. He just really sucks at marketing, so Maomao grew up dirt poor despite those skills.
Ain't that the story of everyone's life, man? It's like, well, we're competent, but we suck at marketing. Like, honestly though, when you think about it, it's like, god damn it, marketing. People knowing that you exist. People knowing that you have that service and choosing you. It's so much easier in a village, isn't it?
But Momo's childhood was even stranger than that. For starters, Momo was literally born and raised in a high-class brothel called the Fair Degrees House. Before Luomen adopted her, she grew up around the manager, the madam, and the top courtesans there. No, eventful childhood. What's great is how the story shapes Momo based on those facts. I mean, let's not talk about the obvious, there are 4 unique things here. First, freckles. They're fake. She paints them herself so she won't attract unwanted attention in the pleasure district. Or how, 2, she's also really good on how to bargain,
making yourself
strategize,
look
and
ugly.
manipulate her way out of trouble.
I will be honest, the freckles just make her more adorable in my eyes, but that's just me.
Especially against men. Her background also explains her hilarious defensiveness around Jinsey, a
I can't. Every time I re-see the scenes where she's a cat, it's just so good. It's just so freaking good. She has a really good backstory, like built up upon layers and layers every episode, like giving you more details and like her backstory with her parents as well and everything. It's like really well crafted.
pretty boy who's far too used to charming women. Well, after all, she's watched all the best courtesans empty even the richest men's wallets. And there's also the Lihua's case.
Nightly knowledge.
She's so good at it that she held a lecture of it. Come on, she grew up in a pleasure district. And much of this are actually established early in the story, some from episode 1. So when Mama effortlessly solved mysteries using her apothecary knowledge, street smarts, and occasionally really questionable tactics, it feels right.
Really
But what happens when a
questionable,
character
alright.
doesn't have that realistic foundation? Ray.
You think I should watch this one? Apothecary Diaries is one of my favorite animes. It shot up high up there. I mean, it's also for me, it's also the setting because I'm a sucker for it. It's also the fact that it's an apothecary, which I am a sucker for that as well. There are a lot of reasons why I'm a sucker for it. Plus, Maomao cat, it's like amazing. But it's a good story, good character build up, and slow burning romance. Personally, for me, it's really high up there. I wouldn't say it's my 2024 anime of the year winner. That one is probably Dungeon Meshi because of the fact that it has like really novel character design and twists upon like known concepts for me. So like, yeah, but it's high up there.
Ray, unfortunately, represents one of Hollywood's biggest protagonist problems. From
Is it Maomao technically 2023? It has a second season, so
watching Ray is often treated like a self-insert character, basically a blank slate viewers are supposed to project into. Not only because her background is basically non-existent for so long, it's also because Ray feels almost immune to real consequences. Sure, sometimes she messes up, but does it really matter? Nope. Everything's gonna be fine with Ray. And
I mean, plot armor, I think Maomao also kind of has plot armor in a lot of cases. So, like, plot armor is fine as long as it's not obvious, in my opinion. I haven't seen it, so I have no idea if here it is obvious, though.
this isn't just Ray, by the way. Galadriel suffers from the same visual consequences. She does awful, needlessly mean things, but always getting away unscathed for some reason. The writers seem terrified of giving them real consequences, and that's why these characters feel empty. They're going to be fine anyway. Momo, on the other hand, gets a murder case wrong once, and it's not like she's wrong, she's just a bit late and immediately pays a heavy price. She gets smacked in the face, has to accept help from someone she really doesn't want to,
I was gonna say, like, this was a pretty crazy scene. Like, holy shit.
injured by a massive falling ornament, and the only reason she avoids execution is because she ultimately saved the murder target. Her consequences are real, and they matter. That's exactly why we care. But even with personality, realism, and consequences covered, there's one final piece that wraps it all
Sanity,
up
man.
and makes Momo stands out. It's something that I call the Maomao effect. And yeah, it has to do with agency, okay? Talking
Okay.
about agency in the Apothecary Diaries might seem simple, because I mean, this is Maomao, a capable personality. But when you look at the storytelling perspective and the psychological perspective, it has more nuance than it seems. In storytelling, agency refers to how much control a character has over their decisions and story arc. So basically, a character with strong agency means they shape the plot instead of just passively reacting to it. But in psychology, agency is the ability to act intentionally, to set goals, anticipate outcomes, and believe you have meaningful control over your actions. Now, if you ask, okay, why is this important? If we're strictly talking about this topic, it's because having agency, believing that your choices matter and influence outcomes, is incredibly rewarding. It aligns deeply with our innate desire for control.
I love the way he edited the clips of Maomao there. I feel like that really adds to the video itself. And I agree, like, when you feel like the character doesn't really, like, the character's just being strung along and doesn't really contribute anything, but they're there as the main figure, it feels kind of lame.
So let's try apply this to Maomao. And this is when you can actually question Maomao's agency. So from a storytelling perspective, she didn't even voluntarily enter the inner court, and Maomao is, in the bigger picture, a high-functioning pawn. Mostly Jinxi's pawn. Jinxi throughout the story throws Maomao into cases whether she likes it or not. Yet,
Yeah,
if
she
you
is
look
a
at it
pawn there.
psychologically, does Maomao feel powerless? Even though she doesn't always have options, she uses her own methods and approaches. Basically, she makes each mission her own approach.
I mean, she even tackles that in the anime. She mentions the fact that it's not like she has a choice, but she's trying to find the best outcome for herself while keeping herself out of trouble and staying alive, but also helping or satisfying her curiosity or simply making sure that she gains something out of the interaction, regardless of what is happening. So she's forced to be there, but she's making sure that she profits from it. So in that regard, it's like, it is really well constructed. Which is better, Apothecary Diaries or Sentence of a Bookworm? Ooh. I would say Apothecary Diaries, but I'm biased simply because of the romance aspect. I'd say like they're kind of, they're too different. They're too different. One's more of a how to do things, and the other one is more detective-y.
Approaching problems truly as Maomao. And this subtle yet crucial distinction gives her psychological agency, which doesn't really matter in this context because, well, it so happens that Galadriel also has a strong agency. And look what people think of her. Watching Galadriel is boring and funny for all the wrong reasons, but the thing is, if we only look at how a character affects a plot, I mean the plot serves Galadriel. So what's the difference? Okay, to answer this, let's think of gaming. Okay, bear with me here. Let's take Elden
Gaming?
Ring for example. Elden Ring
Okay.
is addictive because lots of things. But one of the most blatantly obvious reason is not because they only provide agency, but it's because they test your agency and they make you work on it. You're not guaranteed victory.
Okay.
They also offer you freedom to decide how to approach stuff so that you have more control. And with both
Okay,
of
I
these,
see where
you
he's
actually
going with
achieve the
this,
win.
yeah.
Heck, even in the journey to achieve the amount of actual agency needed creates a huge wave of satisfaction. Without
I'm sorry, I'm the one person here that doesn't feel jack shit when I'm defeating someone in Elden Ring. Or in Souls games in general. I'm like, I just feel like I'm on to the next thing. I don't stop to celebrate anything. It's just like, whatever.
genuine setbacks, challenges, consequences, characters risk becoming empty power fantasies. And sadly, anime
I
is
love that
filled
face.
to the brim with these characters. Momo, on the other hand, she doesn't constantly fight for survival, but she experiences meaningful struggles and moments of vulnerability, rich enough emotionally and practically that lots of people wanna stand with her. Agency is such a central factor in
She's
people's
also
lives. You can
relatable.
practically see it everywhere. It's literally the spice of life.
Like, it's very relatable because, like, she doesn't want to attract attention and she just wants to exist and do her own thing, right? And she's forced to do things that she doesn't want to do, and she has to kind of navigate that situation. It's relatable to anyone that works with other people, has an annoying boss or annoying coworker, or like doesn't want to be part of the gossip chain. It's just like you're just trying to freaking exist, man. So it's highly relatable in that regard.
Without it, you don't even feel alive. Okay, back to the topic. This continuous tension between challenge and triumph is what I call the Maomao effect. So the question is, why Maomao? Because the setting of the Apothecary Diaries itself embodies the opposite of agency, an anti-agency environment. It's a world where even minor mistakes can lead to severe punishment, even execution, where even Maomao casually acknowledges the very real threat of being sold if he loses her job. Look, in fact, most commoners in this world don't even have the basic agency of literacy. And this stark contrast makes Maomao's subtle but consistent assertion of control especially powerful. Full agency without meaningful personality or depth is just lame for a character. I mean, who's watching solo leveling for the nuance and intricate character development of Sang Jinwoo? I think people just wanna goon on Gina. And
Excuse me, I'm into the demon now. I'm into the demon. Honestly, though, I feel like solo leveling people are just like really into the fluidity of the animation and just the power fantasy of like just being OP.
hey, if you just wanna goon, Gyokyu exists, bro. And don't forget, Ado, Lihua, Pyrin. I can't even show Pyrin because the budget. West
Because of the budget, oh my god. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, he's not wrong. There are a lot of characters that you can goon to if you want to in Apothecary. Although, like, I don't know, I don't watch anime for that. So this was an interesting video. At least from selling Apothecary Diaries to people, I guess. I don't know about like the other two pieces that we were comparing it to because there wasn't much being said about them. It's more like praising Maomao, and yes, let's praise Maomao because she's amazing. So the word of the day is meow. I like how my cat just stared at me when I said that. Did I meow too much, Shob? So yeah, Thank you for watching YouTube. Until next time. Bye bye. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it really, really helps the algorithm. And I'd appreciate you more.